So, we're focusing this month on the third of the five remembrances that we are all of the nature to die. I have not gone beyond dying. And this remembrance can stir a lot, can bring up a lot. And in the last week and a half, we've heard just really tender talks from Bill and Susan and Lori. And those who have been here might also be noticing your stirrings and reactions, memories, thoughts, feelings, perhaps about losses and deaths in your life that have happened or that you may anticipate happening. And this remembrance, I think, invites us to wonder, right? How will we face our own deaths? How do we face and understand the losses, the deaths of the people we love? And these questions feel really big for me. And I've been reflecting with some gratitude on the ways that, so often in this practice, we are invited to start small and to begin right here and now. And as I do, as I invite myself into that, I see all around me what these remembrances point me to. I don't have to wait until a major loss or till my death in order to practice building a relationship with death and with endings. Right? I can invite myself to turn toward the endings that are all around me and within me in any moment. So we can notice the beginning or ending of a day. I often wake up before the sun rises and I try to remember to actually watch and experience the day beginning. Often in the daily sit here, we take this time to slow down and connect with and notice how everything is coming and going. We have this time to do that together, to watch breath, sounds, thoughts, feelings, these opportunities together to practice being with beginnings and endings and honoring life as it moves. And every day here together, we say hello and we say goodbye. This is this is important. And many of us have been watching spring arise around us. Certainly, where I am in New England, this is happening after a very cold winter. And I noticed these sprouts of allium flowers, green, coming up through a big pile of brown oak leaves in the yard. And it was just like, oh, this arising of life right in the middle of death. And so I wanted to offer, as we practice with this month, one of my favorite chants. Bill had mentioned having chanting at he and Susan's wedding. And I really believe in the power of chanting to help carry these truths through our voices, the vibration of that in our bodies, helping these teachings come a bit more deeper into our bodies and our bones and our hearts. And also, chanting helps us connect to those who have practiced before us and, like us, faced and lived with and wrestled with these truths, and connects us in many ways to life and death itself. That even though those who created these chants or maybe practiced them may be gone, their teachings, their practice planted the seeds for us to practice today. And this chant is used in many Theravadan Buddhist cultures and communities to announce the death of a loved one. And so it felt especially fitting for our focus. And many of you may know it. I'll just say it first. It is Anicca Vata Sankhara Upadavaya Damino Upagitua nirujanti te sam upasamo sukho. And one translation is impermanent are all conditioned things. They arise and pass away. This is their nature. To be in harmony with this truth brings great happiness. And the rhythm is anicca vata sankara upadavaya damino upagitua nirujanti te samupasamo sukho. So, impermanent are all conditioned things. They arise and pass away. This is their nature. To be in harmony with this truth brings great happiness. It feels like almost all of Buddhism teachings are in just that chant. And, even as I feel it in my body, it feels almost like a kind of soothing and gentle way to remember and hold this remembrance. This is how it is. And there's even gentleness in the invitation, this sort of ehipassiko, come and see for yourself. Right? We can make contact with this right now. We can make contact with the breath that is arising and falling, being born, living and dying. In walking meditation, right? Lifting, moving, placing, as we lift, move, and place one foot and then the other. These are like mini born, living, dying process we can be present to. When we practice with these smaller lives and deaths, I think we can feel that echo. We hear it in the chant of me too arising and passing. And I think we can also notice, many of you have, how the out breath in our meditation practice allows for the next in breath. How the placing of the foot allows for the next lifting. The letting go of night allows for the day to begin. And sometimes, as we have the opportunity to really notice these arisings and passings, I'm guessing this is true also for everyone here, you notice that actually it's kind of difficult to even know when the beginning and endings actually are. It's true with the breath sometimes, like where is the out breath actually beginning? Or a meal, right, which we have every day. When does it actually begin and end? And are we present for that unfolding? Does it begin at the grocery store or with the thought of the meal? Does it end with the last bite, when we've cleaned the dishes, or when we digest it? But even then, right, the meal sort of is becoming our body. So these feel like wonderful many ways to explore and be present to this truth of death, life and death. When do things end? What do they become? And how we so often think of death as happening just in one moment, but that's often not the case. And, also the invitation, as we are with this, just in moments, maybe feeling into or noticing what holds all of that change. All of that life and death, what do all conditioned things return back into? Not to answer, right? Not to answer it, but to be with that question. And so, yes, as we practice this month, we will likely be noticing those kind of bigger stirrings related to those big losses deaths in our lives that we have had or that we anticipate, and we can be with and bring our attention and our care to rest with these smaller moments, noticing these cycles of change. And may we bow to these teachers all around us that give us this opportunity to practice for our lives and to practice for our deaths. And as the chant offers, to be happy, peaceful, as we come into living in harmony with this truth. So thank you so much. Thanks for your attention. And we can notice, right, the kind of transition here and tend to that as we shift to formal practice, and just notice what might be needed in that. So often turning back to these bodies and the breath can be really helpful. Having some time to move a little bit, to stretch, to come back home here with the breath and the body connected to the ground or the cushion. And invite a gentle landing with that. Just letting the body unwind a little. Seeing if the breath can be free and easy and have as much space as it needs. Can be helpful to sometimes just notice like the spine, the back, crown of the head, and bottom of the tailbone. The experience of sitting or maybe of laying down. You might notice space around the body and sounds in or around the room that you're in. The temperature of the air. Invite the mind also to begin to settle to whatever extent it can. Inviting it to rest maybe with the arising and passing of the breath. The birth, life, and death of sounds. And the invitation is just to bring a little more noticing, inviting ourselves to notice the beginnings, the endings, the transitions that are happening, maybe with the anchor, or also in moments when we kind of wake up from a story. Oh, and we allow that to end. Oh, what's that like? And without having to force the mind into that, without having to become tense, I have to notice. and keeping the attention receptive and open, alive. impermanent are all conditioned things. They arise and pass away. This is their nature. To be in harmony with this truth brings great happiness, peace. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your practice.